All right, let's jump right in, shall we? Today, today we are taking a deep dive into therapeutic journal prompts.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, those little nudges that can unlock some serious self-discovery.
Absolutely.
And to guide us, we have this great piece from LeStallion.
LeStallion, okay.
It's a website totally dedicated to all things journaling.
I see.
And the article we're looking at today is titled
I'm ready.
50 Therapeutic Journal Prompts.
Okay.
The author, Clara Penrose,
Mm-hmm.
she really lays out a roadmap for using these prompts, and I have a feeling this is going to be a journey worth taking.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably intimidated by journaling.
For sure.
They might think, oh, I don't know where to start.
Right, exactly.
But these prompts, they really give you a framework.
Yeah, it's like having training wheels.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
what I think is really cool is Penrose doesn't just like throw out random prompts.
Right.
She divides them into categories, which I think is super helpful.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so let's start with exploring emotions.
Okay, exploring emotions.
And this one really caught my eye. It says, what emotions do you struggle to express?
That's a good one.
I feel like we all have those, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like sometimes there are feelings we just don't even want to admit to ourselves.
Right, and sometimes we don't even realize what we're feeling until we actually sit down and think about it,
That's true.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest benefits of journaling. It helps you become more aware of your own emotional landscape.
Yeah, it's like having a personal therapist guiding you
Right.
through all your thoughts and feelings.
Exactly. Yeah.
And, speaking of getting real,
Mm-hmm.
there's another prompt in this section that I was like, whoa.
Okay.
It says, write about a time when you felt both joy and sadness in the same moment.
Joy and sadness at the same time.
I mean, is that even possible?
It absolutely is. Life is rarely black and white.
Okay, sure.
We often experience a mix of emotions, even seemingly contradictory ones at the same time.
That's a good point.
Like, think about
Yeah.
the feeling of graduating from college.
Oh, yeah.
You're excited for the future,
Mm-hmm.
but also maybe a little sad to be leaving your friends and the familiarity of school behind.
Right, or like when you're moving to a new city. It's
Exactly.
like this bittersweet mix of anticipation and nostalgia.
Yeah, and this prompt encourages you to explore those complex emotional experiences
Okay.
and understand how they shape your perspective.
Well, it's not just about like labeling your emotions.
Right.
It's about understanding the nuances
Exactly.
and how those emotions interact with each other.
Yeah, it's about embracing the full spectrum of human emotion.
This is already making me rethink how I process my own feelings.
That's great. That's what we want.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like I'm already getting so much out of this deep dive.
These prompts, they really challenge us to step outside our comfort zones and really examine our inner world.
Okay, that's a good way to put it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Examine our inner world.
All right, now let's move on to a slightly heavier topic, shall we?
Okay, I'm ready.
This section is called Processing Difficult Memories.
Okay. Processing difficult memories.
And I'll admit, this section feels a bit intimidating to me.
Oh, how so?
I mean, who wants to dredge up painful memories? Right?
Yeah, I can see how that could be tough.
It's like, why would I want to relive those moments that I've tried so hard to forget?
It's understandable to feel that way.
Okay.
But remember, this isn't about dwelling on the negative.
Okay.
It's about understanding how past experiences have shaped you.
Mm-hmm.
And, more importantly, how to move forward.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's like if you have a physical injury,
Yeah,
you need to understand what caused it
right.
and how to properly treat it so it can heal.
Okay, so you're saying it's kind of the same with emotional wounds.
Exactly.
We need to understand them in order to heal from them.
Right.
One prompt that really stood out to me here is says, think about a time when you felt rejected or left out.
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one.
Those feelings of rejection, man,
Rejection can be so painful.
they really can.
It can really stick with you.
It's true. And it's not just about romantic rejection either.
Right.
It could be from friends, family, even colleagues at work.
Absolutely. It can show up in so many different areas of life.
And this prompt is particularly clever because it encourages you to not just recall the event, but to analyze the physical sensations you experienced at the time.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, like that knot in your stomach, the tightness in your chest.
I see.
By revisiting those sensations on the page, you can start to detach the emotion from the memory.
Wow, that's actually really insightful.
Yeah, it's not just about remembering. It's about rewiring how you experience those memories.
It's like taking the sting out of the rejection.
Exactly. exactly.
And Penrose actually offers this reassuring quote in the article.
Oh, what does she say?
She says, "Healing from painful memories takes time and patience. Allow yourself the space to process, knowing that each step forward is progress."
I like that.
I think that's so important to remember.
It is. We often put pressure on ourselves to, like, get over things quickly.
Right, like we should just be able to snap our fingers and be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But healing is a process.
It is.
And sometimes acknowledging those painful memories is the first step toward letting them go.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like you can't just bury those feelings and pretend they don't exist.
Absolutely.
You have to face them head on in order to truly move on.
Right, and journaling can be such a safe space to do that. It's
Yes.
just you and the page.
No judgment, no expectations.
That's
Just a space to process and heal.
It's a powerful tool. Yeah, it's like tending to a wound, you know?
I like that.
You can't just ignore it and expect it to heal properly.
Right.
Sometimes you need to clean it out, apply some salve,
Mm-hmm.
give it time to mend.
That's such a great analogy. Okay, ready for a little mood booster?
Always.
The next section is all about
Let's hear it.
rebuilding self-worth,
Rebuilding self-worth. Okay,
which I think we could all use a little more of in our lives, right?
absolutely. Self-love and acceptance. It's so important.
For sure. I mean, we're constantly bombarded with messages telling us we're not enough,
Oh, it's true.
not thin enough,
Right.
not rich enough, not successful enough.
It's a never-ending cycle.
I know. It's easy to get caught up in that negative self-talk.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that's where these prompts can be so powerful.
Okay, how so?
They encourage us to challenge those negative beliefs and replace them with more positive and affirming ones.
Right. It's about shifting your mindset.
Okay, this one I love.
Okay.
It's so simple, but so profound. It says, what's one way you can be kinder to yourself today?
Oh, I love that.
It's like a little reminder to treat ourselves with the same compassion that we would offer a loved one.
Exactly. We're often so much harder on ourselves than we would ever be on anyone else.
It's true. I'd never say to a friend, you're such a failure, or you're not good enough.
Right, but we say those things to ourselves all the time.
All the time.
And that's the kind of negative self-talk that these prompts can help us identify and challenge.
Yeah, Penrose talks about using journaling as a way to cultivate self-awareness. And I think that's key. By recognizing those negative patterns,
Yeah.
we can start to break free from them.
It's like shining a light on those dark corners of our minds and saying,
Yeah.
hey, these thoughts aren't serving me anymore.
Exactly. And by consistently practicing self-kindness and focusing on our strengths,
Yeah.
we can actually rewire our brains to be more self-compassionate.
It's amazing how powerful our minds are.
I know. This reminds me of something I read recently about neuroplasticity.
Oh, yeah.
The idea that our brains are constantly changing and adapting. So if we focus on positive thoughts and behaviors,
Right.
we can actually strengthen those neural pathways.
It's like building a muscle.
Oh, I like that.
The more we practice self-love and gratitude,
Yeah.
the stronger those positive pathways become and the less power those negative thoughts have over us.
Okay, now for a topic that always makes me a bit squeamish.
Uh-oh, what is it?
Letting go and forgiving.
Ah, forgiveness, yeah.
Forgiveness can be such a loaded word.
It really can be.
And I'll admit, I sometimes struggle with it.
A lot of people do.
So what is it about?
You know, people think forgiveness means condoning someone's actions or letting them off the hook,
Right.
but it's really not about that at all.
So what is it about then?
It's about freeing yourself from the burden of anger and resentment.
Okay.
It's about acknowledging the hurt, processing the emotions,
Yeah.
and ultimately choosing to release the negativity that's holding you back.
Okay.
Penrose puts it beautifully in the article.
What does she say?
Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing yourself from the weight of the past, allowing yourself to heal and grow.
Wow, that's really powerful.
It is.
It's not about forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't hurt.
Right.
It's about choosing to move forward with a lighter heart.
Exactly.
And one of the prompts here really speaks to that.
Okay, which one?
It says, think about someone who has hurt you. What emotions still linger, and how can you begin the process of letting go for your own healing?
Yeah, that's a tough one, but a good one.
It's an invitation to explore those lingering emotions and consider how holding on to them might be affecting you.
Right, because sometimes we hold on to anger because it feels like a form of power or control.
It's true, like, if I'm still angry, it means they still have some power over me.
Exactly, but maybe true freedom comes from letting go of that anger.
It's a powerful realization.
It is.
Forgiveness is ultimately an act of self-love.
It is.
It's about choosing to release yourself from the prison of resentment
Mhm.
and allowing yourself to heal and move on.
Okay, ready to move on to the next section?
Yes, I am. Let's do it.
Okay. This one is called Moving Forward with Hope.
I love that. Moving forward with hope.
I know, it's such a positive note to end on.
This section focuses on setting intentions for the future and cultivating a sense of possibility.
It's about recognizing that we have the power to shape our own future. Okay.
Even if we can't control everything that happens to us.
Right, that's a good point.
One prompt that really resonated with me is
Okay.
write about a vision of your future self who is healed emotionally.
Oh, wow. I like that a lot.
It's like an invitation to step into that healed version of yourself and imagine what that feels like.
It's not just about hoping for healing.
Right.
It's about embodying that healed version of yourself.
Exactly.
I love that.
It's almost like a form of manifestation.
Oh, interesting.
By writing down our goals and aspirations,
Mm-hmm.
we're essentially planting seeds for the future we want to create.
Okay.
And by visualizing ourselves as already healed,
Yeah.
we're sending a powerful message to our subconscious mind.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
It's powerful stuff.
It's like saying, this is who I am becoming.
Right.
This is the future I'm creating.
Exactly.
And you know, these prompts are just a starting point.
Right.
You can adapt them, modify them,
Mm-hmm.
use them as inspiration to create your own. Absolutely. The most important thing is to find what resonates with you
Mm-hmm.
and what helps you connect with your inner self.
This has been such an insightful exploration of therapeutic journal prompts.
I agree.
It's amazing how a simple notebook and pen can be such powerful tools for self-discovery and healing.
It really is. And we've only just scratched the surface.
You know, right.
There's a whole world of resources out there for anyone interested in deepening their self-awareness
Mm-hmm.
and embarking on a journey of healing and growth.
I'm feeling inspired to start my own journaling practice.
That's great.
And for our listeners who are ready to dive in,
Yeah.
be sure to check out the show notes for a link to that LeStallion article with all 50 prompts.
It's a fantastic resource.
It is. It really is.
And remember, the most important thing is to be consistent.
That's right.
Even just a few minutes of journaling each day can have a profound impact on your well-being.
Well said. Now, before we wrap up this segment,
Mhm.
I have a question that's been swirling in my mind.
Okay, let's hear it.
We've talked a lot about processing difficult memories and letting go of the past.
Right.
But what about those memories that we cherish? The ones that bring us joy and comfort?
Yo, that's a great question.
Do you think journaling can play a role in preserving those precious moments as well?
That's a fantastic question.
I'm glad you think so.
And one that we'll delve into when we return for part 3 of our deep dive into therapeutic journal prompts.
Okay, can't wait. All right, so before the break, we were talking about how journaling can be super helpful for working through difficult stuff.
Yeah.
But you brought up something I hadn't really thought about.
Oh, yeah.
Can journaling also help us hang on to those happy memories?
Absolutely. It's so easy to focus on the negative,
Mm-hmm.
but journaling can be just as powerful for celebrating those positive moments.
Okay, that makes sense. It's almost like our brains are kind of wired to focus on the bad stuff.
Well, there's some truth to that.
Oh.
You know, our brains tend to prioritize those potential threats.
Right, like a survival instinct or something?
Exactly. But that doesn't mean we have to let the negative dominate our thoughts.
Okay.
Journaling about those joyful experiences,
Huh?
it can really help shift that balance.
So how does that work? I mean, if I'm already happy about a memory,
Yeah.
why bother writing it down?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
When was the last time you actually sat down and really savored a happy memory?
Hmm.
Not just a quick flashback, but like a deep dive into all the details.
Right.
The sights, the sounds, the smells, even those emotions you felt at the time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that's where journaling comes in.
Okay.
By writing about that experience, you're essentially reliving it.
I see.
You're engaging all your senses. You might even discover new layers of appreciation you hadn't noticed before.
It's like creating a high-definition recording of happiness.
Exactly. And those joyful entries, they can become such a source of strength.
Oh, yeah.
Especially during challenging times. It's like building a reserve of positivity you can draw on when you need it most.
That makes me think of gratitude journals,
Oh, absolutely.
which I know a lot of people find helpful.
Gratitude journaling is a fantastic practice.
Mm-hmm.
By regularly writing down what you're grateful for, you're training your mind to focus on the positive.
Right. And that can have a ripple effect on your overall well-being.
It really can.
Okay, so we've talked about journaling for processing emotions, for preserving memories.
Yeah.
But I've also heard that it can be great for sparking creativity.
Oh, absolutely. The act of writing itself can stimulate your imagination.
Okay.
It helps you tap into your creative potential.
So it's like exercising a muscle. The more you write, the stronger that creative voice becomes.
Exactly. Think of your journal as a playground for your mind.
Oh, I like that.
You can experiment with different writing styles, explore new concepts, let your imagination run wild without judgment.
I love that analogy.
Yeah,
It makes journaling feel less like a chore and more like a fun adventure.
that's the spirit.
Hmm.
Journaling should be an enjoyable and enriching experience.
Mhm.
It's a gift you give to yourself.
This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening.
Yeah, it has.
It's amazing how such a simple practice can have such profound effects on our well-being.
I know, it's really incredible.
And for our listeners who are ready to start their own journaling practice,
Yes.
be sure to check out the show notes for a link to that LeStallion article with all 50 therapeutic journal prompts.
It's a great resource.
It really is.
And, if you're feeling crafty,
Yeah.
maybe try decorating your journal to make it even more
Oh,
personal.
that's a great idea.
A little creative touch can make the whole experience even more enjoyable.
Well, this has been such a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much for joining us today and taking us on this deep dive.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, remember, the journey of self-discovery is ongoing, and you have all the tools you need to create a life filled with meaning, joy, and fulfillment. Happy writing, everyone.